Okay, so hello everyone. So welcome to join the Zycamp second day. And our first topic today is about TR369. Okay. Okay, and this is our agenda for this topic. Like you can see, like we have 4 parts in this chapter. And in the first part, I will introduce what is TR369 and what's the difference between TR369 and the previous TR69. And also in the second part, and the third part, I'll introduce how we can use the TR369 technology on our CP devices. And also how I will demonstrate some operation example in the part 3. Okay, and in the last part, we will see what we can do when we encounter some TR369 related problem. So like what kind of debug information we can collect and what's the method we can use to debug the issue. Okay. Okay, so let's move on from, I'll start from the first chapter, TR369 key features. Okay, so why the TR369 comes out? The reason why TR369 was created was the previous TR69 has some weakness. It has to be reshaped following latest and the future market trend, and which includes the 4 points I list here. For example, it could be like a possibility for the telemetry and the real-time monitoring, and also allows to manage the control the third-party application as well. And the third one is talk about a security mechanism, like the security in the message communication need to be enhanced. And the last one is for adopting the protocol for the Internet of Things product. Okay, and the other enhancement in TR369 is that TR369 adopt the TR181 device data model. And what is TR181? The TR181 is a device data model that encompasses a variety of CPE configuration and monitoring parameters. Okay. Okay, so in the later slide, I will compare the difference between the TR69 and TR369 from this 4 perspective. Okay, so this is our first one. Now we will talk about the architecture difference between the TR69 and TR369. And as you can see, that this is a typical TR69 architecture. That topology uses an ACSC server to a CPE device architecture. And the CPE that use a TR69 can only be managed by an ACS server only. And that it can be managed by several ACS server like TR369 protocol used did. Okay. Okay, and this is the architecture of the TR369 topology. And as you can see, that in a TR369 scenario, it allows multiple controllers to manage a single device like this. And please note that in a TR369 scenario, we not call the ACS server as a server. Instead, we call it a controller. So that's why you will see like we have several controllers with different names like this. Okay, and with this architecture of a TR369, an ISP can manage most or all of the feature on the CPE devices with a different controller, depends on their needs. And if there are some third-party application that need to be managed directly by the third-party vendor, it's also doable with this protocol because they can directly connect their controller to our CPE devices directly, like this topology. Okay. Okay. And this is an example of the application in TR369 scenario. Okay, and we first look at the agent on the right. And the agent in a TR369 scenario is representing our CP devices. And also, as we already know, that an agent in a TR369 scenario can be managed by multiple controllers at the same time. So that's why you will see there are several NTP set on our agent here. Okay, and the term NTP, at least here, it stands for the Message Transport Protocol. And in a later slide, we will see what this NTP stands for in detail one by one. And also how we can set the NTP setting on our CP devices in our second part of this slide. Okay, so in our example here, if our agent wants to send a message to a controller, it will start sending a message from the agent's endpoint like this. And then the message will then be transported using one of the NTP shown here. Okay, and then this message will be sent from the agent to the controller and stop at the controller's endpoint, like this animation. Okay, and from the perspective of the transport protocol, as we can see that the two protocols are different as well. That the transport protocol using in the TR69 is a HTTP. But in TR369 technology, we can see that the TR369 defines the following three protocols as NTP. And for example, it could be the MQTT or the stump, and the last one is WebSocket. And the protocol we mentioned here all have their own strengths and for different use cases. And therefore, it can be flexible for different customer deployments. And the commonality of these three NTP is that they are all support the real-time messaging. Also, when we compare to the previous HTTP used in TR369, the packet size of these three protocols is much more smaller. Okay. And this is a topology where we want to use a MQTT as an NTP to communicate with a controller. As you can see that when we want to set up an MQTT as NTP on our devices, the protocol requires us to configure a MQTT broker connect between the controller and the agent. So when the agent wants to send out a message to the controller, the agent will need to send the message to the broker first. Then the broker will help to forward the message to the controller, like this. Okay. So, so it means that when we want to using the MQTT as a NTP protocol on our devices, how do they? We also need to set the information of the MQTT broker, for example, the IP address or the basic system information on our CP devices. So like our CP devices will know where the location of the broker, then send a message to the controller. Okay. Okay, and this is an architecture of the stump. As you can see, that the topology is nearly the same, like the MQTT. And it also requires us to set a broker between the agent and the controller like this. So when a stump client wants to send a message to a controller, it will first need to send the message to the broker first. Then the broker will help us to send a message to the controller. Okay. Okay. And when we want to use the WebSocket as an NTP, we can see that compared to the previous MQTT and stump, the topology is much more simple. Like we don't need to set up a broker connected between an agent and controller. So when we use WebSocket as NTP on our CP devices, our CP devices can send a message directly to the controller like this animation.
Sure.
Yeah.
The broker or the distributor is an external device, or is something that is a software that is.
Oh, it's more like a software. Yeah.
And it's inside the control.
It depends on the vendor's design because in our example, I will show you later. The server we use is called a server, and that software combine a broker and controller together. Yeah.
Does this, depending on what technology is used for is the format of the message different between, let's say, Storm or WebSocket, or it shows the communication protocol that is different and the message structure policy?
Sorry, and I get your point.
Okay,
so yeah.
Let's say the agent want to notify the controller that was a change in configuration. Right? The way the structure to build that message, it will be the same no matter if it's being used WebSocket or if it's being used as Stone, for example. It's the same message structure, or the message structure will change depending on what MPT method we use.
Sorry, you talk about whether the message format is the same.
Are you gonna go over like the differences, like
Between Stomp and SMPP?
Yeah.
No, we only talk about differences in simple way like this because in our topic today, we will focus on how we install these three protocols on our CP devices and how we can use that. Yeah. But about your question, whether a singular format should be different because this three protocol becomes different protocol. Yeah.
Three different troubleshooting methods.
That's my point. You need to analyze the message, then if something you want to provide something broken in the first of the message.
Yeah.
So with
three different.
Yeah, so with TR069, I mean, we had SOAP. You can read the SOAP message.
So, oh yeah. So in the end of this topic, I will also introduce the suggestion, troubleshooting, because they suggest us to capture the log on CP devices.
Might be the cushion of the horse. Yeah, but the point that troubleshooting will be based on the WebSocket structure. It's gonna be based on the Stomper structure. Well, let's see what he has.
It's more like a
before we,
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's more like a capturing the log on a device and capture the packet on one side of the CPE. Yeah. Okay.
Last thing. Will a CP have the three methods installed at once to use what is needed, or normally it will be just one method?
Oh, you mean whether CPE device support MQTT, Stomp, and WebSocket? Oh yeah, our CPE supports three. Yeah, depends on the setting is different. Concurrently three of them.
Because right, previously you showed a slide where a CPE can be.
Of course, yeah. Because it means different NTP, like some WebSocket. Right. Yeah, of course it can manifest several different controllers. Yeah.
But it will be, those controllers don't have to be the same protocol. They can be different.
Yeah, can be different as well.
And
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, so from the perspective of security, the TR69 and the TR369 are different as well. So we can see that TR69 security measure is in its transport protocol. And as we already know that TR69 uses HTTP as a transport protocol, and the HTTP protocol is a TCP based. So the security measure in TR69 is a TLS. Okay, and in TR369, we can see that the protocol has a 2-layer of security. And similar as the previous TR69, the TR369 also can enhance the security from the transport protocol, either the TLS for list 3 TCP-based NTP, and also the DTLS for this UDP-based NTP. But please note that the COAP was adopted in the earlier TR369 release, and but then be deprecated. But if in the future, the TR369 adopt any new UDP-based protocol as NTP in the future, the DTLS will still be the security enhancement for the UDP-based protocol here. So that's why we mentioned DTLS here. Okay, and the second layer of security by TR369 it's a USB record also supports the TLS. And there's a point of plus when we compare it to the TR69. And the usage of the USB record is for providing the source and the destination information about the messaging content. And also, the USB record might plus follow information like the session and security information if the optional end-to-end session context is used. Okay. So from the perspective of communication, we can see that part of the TR69 design is excessive and the lack of flexibility. For example, the TR69 is a cumbersome in message content. And the point is means that the message header and message body have much information. And some of them are not needed and then can be therefore be removed. Okay. And also the TR69 need to specify the full parameter path. And even if there are several repeated objects like this, you will see that when we use a TR69, we will need to type in the device info 4 times in order to use this full object. Okay. And this operation is quite unnecessary. So in TR369, it will allow us not to type in this repeated object name here. Okay, and the other bad design in TR69 is about a rigid message communication. And because it could happen in a situation where you want to set several parameters and misspell one of the parameter path like this. And when such a situation happen in your operation, you will find out that TR69 will give you a fault code. Okay, and the other point is that whenever operation finish in TR69, we will see that the session will terminate. And if further operation are still needed in a TR369 operation, you will see that the device need to start a new session and a new session has to pass the authentication again and require the extra message change between the ACS server and your CPU devices. Okay, but on the contrary, we can see that the TR369 is more lightweight. And unlike the TR69, the unnecessary message and message body and header, the TR69 simplify the message context and the message by the following ways. And the first one is that a TR369 has a slim message header and a message body that only need header and bodies include a message ID or a message type and a message argument. And also in TR369, it removes those presented but unnecessary context in message header and message body. Okay. And the other point in TR369 is this one. Use the relative path and can reduce the amount of data in a message. Because as we already know that a repeat TR1 object in TR369 only need to type in once, rather than like in TR69, we need to type in 4 times like this.
Right. So once we're in there, we can just say, on this branch, get this, and then on this branch, get this, you know.
Like yeah, so it's more convenient to use in TR369 because we don't need to type in.
Oh, okay.
Like
So I thought you were saying like it would be like device info, and then the name of what it's grabbing is just gonna grab a bunch. But you're saying that it's device info, and then we can just go down the line of what we need.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And then you remove device info and just go direct to what you want.
Oh, okay. So you wouldn't even need those prefixes anymore?
You should take it.
Okay.
That makes it easier.
Oh yeah, much more easier.
Less data to transfer.
Yeah.
Fewer bytes, it's always better.
Especially like when you're using an ACS like Calyx.
You still have to go through that whole chain on the ACS side, right?
Do you?
Yeah.
Cause I was like, oh, if that makes it easier, cause then like, ACS is like zeros, the Calyx, you won't have to like type in the whole message.
Yeah,
Message
no need
is
to
one
type in a
thing.
whole message.
Yeah. So even if the ACS has to search for it, the messaging is still truncated, so you don't have as much transmit, lighter weight. Because all your TR69 messages are very expensive in terms of like how much data needs to be sent. So trying to lower the amount of data needs to be sent so things can work faster. And also using UDP instead of TCP. So there's not so much handshaking and overhead going on. That makes it more friendly to use with things like apps. Basically, think about it like this. You know how Plume works?
Yeah.
We're trying to get TR369 to work in a similar method.
Okay.
Oh, thanks for sharing.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
The main reason, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Got to keep up with competition. And that's ultimately what it is. Plume is a competition to TR369 management. So that's why TR369 was developed.
Thank you. So I carry on.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody's feedback. Thank you. Okay. So the other design that makes a TR369 lightweight is by removing the unnecessary message for exchanging. And for example, when you set multiple parameter values and one of the values not correct specified, unlike in TR369, we already know that will end up with a fault code for the whole operation. But when we use TR369, the TR369 could still set other parameter value and will only mark the incorrect parameter only. Okay. And the next point is that the TR369 has a feature that can tell the controller whether it needs to send a response message back or not. And when the end device then notify message to the controller, if the controller don't need to send a message back, it can help to reduce the message exchange between your controller and the CPU devices. Okay. And the last point is in TR369 is this one. Okay. And unlike TR69 will end up each session after any operation end, we will see that TR369 will keep the connection. And the way how the controller keep the connection to the CPU devices is that the controller will periodically ping the devices like this. because you can see that the controller will ping to our CP devices, and devices will send a response message back. So that the controller will know the connection is still active. So that's why you keep the connection active again. Okay. So now we'll have a brief look about the operation in TR369. And as you can see, that the TR369 also supports this basic store operation. For example, if we want to add an object into with a TR369, we can easily just use the add task to help us do that. And if we want to delete a specific object on our devices, then the delete task is the one we need to use. Okay, and the other operation in TR369 are these two. And the first one, the operate, the usage of the operate task. It's like we ask our CP devices to run a specific command. For example, if we want our CP devices to perform a reboot task, then we need to use the operate task and together with this command here, so that our CP device will perform a reboot event. And if we want our CP devices to download a script from a remote devices, this is a command we can use together with this task. Okay, and the other task in TR369 is a notify. And the usage of this task is like can help to inform the controller that a certain event happened on your agent device. And the agent events are denoted with an escalation mark like this, and which can be a parameter, and the event could be a parameter change event or object removal event, or even a device wake up event like this. Where's my mouse? Okay, like this. Okay. And the reason why the TR369 has this design is that we already know that in a TR369 scenario, it is possible for our agent to be managed by several controllers at the same time. And not all the controllers need to receive a specific alarm from an agent. So that's why the TR369 has this task. And when a controller wants to receive a specific alarm from an agent, they need to use this task to subscribe the particular alarm on your agent, so that the agent will send the alarm to the specific controller. Yeah, okay. Okay, and this is the extra two operation in TR369, and it's a get instance and a get supported DN. And from the description, how to say, description here, we can see that if we will not see the description here, we might think that this goal of this two operation might be similar to get one I introduced here. But actually the usage is quite different compared to a previous get task. For example, like the get instance task, it can help to present the instance number of a certain object. And in our example, in the example I have, if we have a 3 hosts connect to our devices, and then we can use a get instance operation, the device.host to get the information from our devices. Then you will get a result that's currently 3 instances currently connect to our devices. So right now there are 3 hosts connected to our CPE. Okay. And the next task is this one, the supported data model. And with the help of this task, it can help us to read the supported data model under a specific object, including parameter and the event or even a comment that the device support.
Right.
Oh.
So we could use this to like get everything, right?
Yeah, get all the function or
If
the
I query just devices, it would show me everything on the,
show the supported function of the devices. Yeah,
okay,
print out several things.
okay.
Okay.
I know that on our TR069 and TR181 data models on our, you know, existing devices, a lot of times a parameter will exist, but it's actually not supported. Like we can't actually use it. What would happen, you know, in this instance with the TR369? Like, can that also happen with get supported DM? Is that we'll see parameters, or we'll see like, you know, parameters that exist but are actually not usable?
Oh, let me because it might be hard to explain. So let me show you how might be look like directly. Okay, so this is a server that we use as a controller, and this is our CPU devices. So we can see what's the result we will get.
This is Xero's TR369, if you notice.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
369. Okay. Oh, but of course, in a later slide, I will show you how we install this function and connect this server to our CPU devices. But here, I just show you what the result we will get when we use a supported DM parameter to get a result from CPE.
Right. And then
Okay.
later we'll show you the QTT settings, basically.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Just to let you know. This is a CPE devices that I already connect to the server. So I just press a button and then select the task from the list here. And then we can just simply press the execute button on the end. And we will see the result like this. That shows all the data model support on the CPE devices. And you can see like there are several outputs like this. Yeah, so many, so many things.
Yeah, well, I think William's question is going a different way.
Yeah, because I'm saying that, like, you know, we have parameters that we put into the devices, but actually cannot be used, like, you
There's a
know.
reason for that. And the thing is, the TR69,
for example, what kind of parameter you found?
Well, I mean, I see the axis right there.
You know, what William is saying that there are some parameters that when you treat the data model, it looks to be like they're support. When you try to use it,
Or they
it comes
exist.
back empty,
Yeah.
or doesn't work at all.
Exactly.
And the reason for that is because the TR69 sign, by the Zycamp, the size of populate whatever we understand is needed, or they're gonna be used on the Oppo side. But not 100% of them are really activated.
Yeah.
And so if there's something your customer is needed and not responding, then you will make the open case so that it's easy to do whatever software is.
That's actually surprising, because I thought that we created the Zycamp TR069 stack.
No, that's like the
No,
Broadcom stack or it's some other stack.
Yeah, and then we just add
But
some
that
ESPs to it when we need to.
stack, it need to be supported by the SDKs. So, and we don't put everything there, but that's way too many. Yeah, I have seen that case way too many cases. That's the condition.
Well, so that means that theoretically it would also happen in TR360.
Probably because they use the same data tree.
I won't be surprised.
I mean, the only thing that's really changed is the communication stack, but behind the scenes, the ACS and the client.
The data
use the Same
models.
data models, yeah. It's just,
Remember, it's 181, so that part not changing. It will be using the same thing.
it's 181 is still pretty tried and true.
So
It
the
hasn't been
data
anything
will
to
get a
improve.
lot of extra information with the system, but the extra information will not come from the protocol itself, because the data model is the same, so you basically get the same information you can get with the system. The extra information that you will be able to get is because you're gonna enable third parties to become develop their own clients for the controllers, and they can do their own stuff and do what Clone is doing, or what Collins is doing. But those are special findings by those third parties that not necessarily have to follow. So you're just allowing those third parties to connect and get their, do their math.
Okay,
You can go on.
Thank you.
yeah, carry on.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're back to this remote in our second part. Okay. Okay. Not work. Okay. So now I'll introduce how we install the TR369. How we set up a connection of TR369 with a controller with our CPE devices. And the CPE devices they use while making this material is this one. But I will show you one by one how we can set up the connection using the NTP, use the MQTT stump and WebSocket as an NTP to set up a connection to the controller one by one. Okay, so okay, so the instruction lecture is through the web GUI, and after we log in the web CPE device's web GUI, the first thing we need to do is that we need to go click the maintenance, then click the TR369 local agent, then go to the functional page like this. Okay, and on the same page, because our first case is that we want to establish an MQTT connection with a broker and a controller. So the first thing we need to do is that we need to go to this, click in the MQTT client tab page and go to the functional page like this. Then click the add a new button here. Then we will see a functional page like this. And here we need to enter the information of the broker, for example, the broker's IP address and also the login username and the password of the server. Okay, and after that, we press the OK button to save the setting. Oh yeah, the password depends on the server. So this information I'll need to get from your server you install in your environment. Okay. Is everything okay?
Yeah, I didn't see the last part.
Oh, okay. Okay. So after setting the MQTT client, we then go to the controller page and then like before, click the add button here. Let's type in the required information on our web GUI. And like before, the information we need to type in here all depends on the information of the server.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like the first part is like the client like login basically. And this part is like the server you're pointing is sort of like SNMP. But like SNMP, you got to have a topic. MQTT is very simple. So when the server gets the message, it knows what category to apply it to because they could build a third-party app onto it to query all the stuff on this topic, basically, to propagate the app. So that's why you have to include this information, basically.
Well, could all that information be filled in by the DHCP option?
I don't
The
know.
HTTP option.
So like, let's say you have nothing
If you're
configured.
talking like option 43, I
Yeah.
don't think so.
Oh, from how to say? From the information I got from my college, we have a customer like they're using the TR69 to entering this information on the CPE first and straight for TR369.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, because there is a path in order
So then you
to.
could do TR4 option 43, configure the TR69, then have the TR69 configure that. Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, but that's
that's multiple failure.
well, no, that's you know, like assuming that your customer has both
Yeah.
TR069 and
Yeah, it's a migration
like
path.
369.
Oh, yeah, it's more like
options
migration.
available.
Follow-up, York, in order to do that, do they have to use VSPs in order to propagate the MQTT information, the controller information, that sort of thing? Like what sort of TR69, what sort of TR181 parameters do they use? Are they vendor specific or are they standard? I would assume they'd be vendor specific because I don't think there's a standard parameter in the 181 data model for any of this.
Sorry, I'm not sure whether the point you mean is this one. Because the TR369 use a device to data model. Is that the one?
Yeah, it did. I know it uses TR181 data
Yeah.
model, but what sort of parameters in the data model do they use to specify the MQTT client username, password,
Those are
the
private,
control?
private.
See, that's what I'm
objects.
thinking. They've
That's
gotta
not-
be
that's not the-
VSPs.
That's not the data model.
So like in a
Yes.
situation where you had a customer that deployed a device that's T369 capable, but they didn't have the server and they're all of a sudden like, years later, oh, I'm on the server now. How can we migrate like 1,000 customers?
That's one of the ideas that was originally about with the multiple controllers, is if we ourselves had a controller and it was predefined in all of our devices. that-
Oh, like a Zycamp
So
controller?
that we have a backdoor, but then it's a backdoor.
Not many customers know that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Then we did dig up
That was
every
something that was
security
discussed.
audit in the US, Europe, and everywhere else.
Well, I don't know if it's really. It's by design, so I wouldn't say that it's by design, so I wouldn't say that it's it's a, what they call it, a bug.
No.
Design, not a bug, but,
So many.
and whether or not it's actually like enabled or connected, it's something else.
Doesn't we consider a security risk? I can understand that, regardless.
Well, then, if that's considered security, then any ACS connection is considered security,
much, yeah.
right?
Well,
So if,
Sorry, it's a different thing, because what if there's some customer that say, hey, if all my devices connected to Zycamp, I don't know if Zycamp is doing something on those devices.
okay, I understand that part.
That's the part that would make.
I understand that part, but what I'm saying is that, if somehow like the government regulations say that, any sort of connection or, is considered a security risk, then.
That's not for the customer, it's only.
Yeah, I understand the customer
That's not our
perspective,
fault.
like, I'm not saying that we should be doing that.
all right, let's get this train back on the
There-
tracks.
Oh, yeah.
Quick question, so I'm assuming that endpoint IDs, reference, topic, and.
Oh, yeah, of
topic,
course,
all those
right.
are information that are provided by the controller.
Oh, yeah,
This is
the
not
controller.
from
So
the-
we need to, because the screenshot here,
Yeah,
broker. Yeah, you need to get the information from the vendor's devices.
yeah, okay.
Yeah,
From
so,
brokers and-
yeah, so the information, the screenshot I showed here is a configuration of your controller devices. Yeah,
Okay,
and also you can,
I need
then my
glasses.
question is,
I can't see this.
if these
My
all
eyes
come
lose
from
I know. That's what I'm thinking too.
the-
It's like a stigma.
The controller, right?
oh, yeah,
I see like these.
Some clients, but probably that's. But some client want all this information pre-configured, so we need to somehow to talk to the controller so we can.
Sorry about that.
yeah, so
We got it.
firstly, if you want to use TR369 on CPU, so you need to get this information from controller.
First,
Yeah,
right?
so like you can follow in the information, enter.
And that will be on the. custom thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just that will do right now.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Okay, so, and as you can see that there's an endpoint ID here. And many of these endpoint IDs represent the service ID of our controller. So you can see that on the controller, you also have an endpoint ID like this. Also, and since our first case, we want to connect our CPU device to MQTT, so we need to select MQTT here. Also, and there's another two parameter we need to notice is this topic and response topic. And the usage of these two parameters is like, for example, just like a illustration here, you can see that when our agent send a message to the controller, a broker, the broker will check the topic parameter topic here, so that the broker will know which controller should the broker forward the message to. Yeah. And on the response and how to say, and the usage of the response topic is a thing that it tells the broker where to find the agent on the right.
Right.
Yeah, and the two information you also need to get from your server as well.
Hey, where's that black screen from? Is that the CPE's command line output or something else?
Black screen. Oh no, it's not a CP. It's from the server.
Okay.
Yeah, the
I thought
controller.
it passed from some-
Yeah. Yeah, because CP only have a white and black.
Yeah.
So, and this is a Linux server, yeah.
Are
Okay,
there a standard port number that broker used to access, like it's using 1883?
oh,
Is
you
that a
mean,
standard port number?
I think depends on your server's design, because you talk about a port number, right?
Yeah, on the
Yeah,
top,
number
like,
is it.
where it say MQTT broker equals to IP address, then it's a port number one.
Higher.
Oh, you mean this
Yeah,
one?
and you also added 183 over here for the broker port.
Yeah, it says the ports right there. Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah,
is
this-
it standard for TR369 to use this port number?
Oh, is that the
I don't know
standard
about
port?
standard, but is it default?
Is it default?
It's more like a default setting
For
of,
MQTT.
yeah, MQTT.
No, but it doesn't, I have a broker who's using a different port number, it doesn't work for that, it only works for 1883. So, but they want us to make it work on 883.
Also, it doesn't work on eight
It
eight
doesn't
three,
work on
but they can only make
883.
it work on
It
one
works
eight
on-
eight three.
I think there's a security something issues on.
Yeah,
something
it
like
could
that.
be. Because you can also see like we don't have a pro numbers field, like you can enter the field here. So it could be the reason why the pro number different, it can make the connection, yeah.
No, but if the controller or the broker comes to me with a different port number, I'm gonna tell them we don't support it. We only support 1883, right?
Should be configurable.
Or it should be configured.
It's not, right?
But
That's
the
what they're
thing is,
saying.
once we configure it, it doesn't work.
But it doesn't come work on our side or on their side.
Our device will send down the actual message.
Outside on that port.
Yeah.
That sounds more like a bot.
I'm not sure if that's true because I've got it working with Windstream.
Yeah, we have to use a different port. Then you see it, then we don't send that
Well,
request.
so you-
It's just do the TLS handshake with the broker and then after that our device talks and the request.
So we don't see anything on the WAN side.
Nothing.
That sounds like a bot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does sound like a bug. But.
Yeah, they don't know.
And then figure out.
I think there's like a certifications required.
But I can help you write down the question, and then when I'm back to HQ, I check the
Okay.
No,
answer with
that's
answer,
okay.
yeah.
You should
Already opened the ticket.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
nice,
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Thanks so much, yeah.
Don't take it.
Yes, open it.
Thanks. Okay, next week? Huh?
By the end of this week.
You lost it, you got it.
Wow, that's weird.
Okay, so this is our second case, is that when we want to use stump as an NTP on our devices. And as we already know that scenario of stump and the MQTT is quite similar because we also need to set a stump broker between the controller and the CPE. So that's why we need to click this tab here and click the add button here as well. And like before, the information we also need to get from the stump server as well. So before using a stump as an NTP, you need to get those information from your stump server. Okay. Okay. And after setting this information, like before, we also need to set the controller on our devices.
Wait. Can you go back to the client, please? I would like to
Yeah.
see what else. Okay, thanks. Heartbeat is the keep alive thing.
Yes, it's check whether the device will always check the connection is active.
Okay, thanks.
Mhm. Okay, and also you can see that it also requires to enter the login password and the IP address, also the port number as well. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Let's slide my, okay, work. Yeah, broke, crash.
Do you guys have anybody using Stomp? Any customers?
No, not, and Windstream uses them.
Oh.
Point wants to test it, but.
My point crash. Yeah, maybe the rank is
Stomp
not
on the
enough.
competition.
But aren't they using
MQTT? Yeah, they want to
No, but they
know.
have a strong point.
What's the advantage
Probably
between the
wants to
two?
see the advantage.
Between the two.
Between using Stomp and
Because
MQTT?
They have a lot of resources.
They have a-
Yeah, is it just like competing protocols?
I think it's just competing protocol.
Yeah, just different protocols. No.
I think the only one that really has the biggest benefit is the web socket, since you don't need the broker.
Yeah, so eventually one of those will disappear because no one's gonna really use Stomp or MQTT.
Yeah, they're most likely gonna go to WebSocket since you don't need the extra software and you just go directly.
And we'll still have that in our GUI for a long period of time. What is this MQTT?
Guess support me and message. It's not.
But so the WebSocket allows constant connectivity, right? So like the one limitation with TR69 is like kind of like you talk, you gotta get the client side
Yeah,
initiated.
I've seen the WebSocket software before when I was working at a pet hospital. Because they use it for their like server to be able to get information from the X-ray machines.
Yeah.
And all that other stuff, so it works really well. Yeah, really quick.
How about innovative ACS? Are they doing 369?
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, thank you. I carry on. Thank you, everyone. Oh, okay. Thank you.
You can keep going.
Thank you so much.
I have not heard from them,
Okay.
like, trying to do 369.
Oh, okay. So the last step.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. You
Go
carry
ahead.
on.
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
no,
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, the customers that they've been working with are still using
69, dude.
Okay. So I
Nice.
go ahead. Thank you. Okay. So like before, this information also need to get from your Stomp server as well. So when you want to using Stomp as an NTP on a devices, please make sure that you already get enough information from the server. So like you can type in the information here. Okay. Okay. And this is the third case, how we can use a WebSocket as NTP to establish a TR369 connection. And as we already know that we don't need to set the broker information on our CPE when we want to use a WebSocket. So the step is much more simple when we compare to the previous two. Like we only need to click the tab, controller tab here, then click the new button. And then fill in the required information that we got from our server as well. Okay. And after that, we click the OK button to apply the setting to our CPE devices. Okay. And after all this above setting, we also need to make sure that we enable the TR369 function on the general tab here. And we can simply just click the enable button here, then click the OK button to let the function work. Okay. And the endpoint ID shown here is for our CPE's ID. And when the connection to the TR369 controller is established, we're able to find this endpoint ID on the server at the same time.
Is that information configurable or is it?
No, it's more like a default value. Unconfigurable value. Yeah.
Hard-coded value, right?
Yeah, hardcore.
And that's based on some.
Based on serial number.
Right.
Yeah, as you can see, like starting with SS2,
I can see.
S220. Yeah. I mean, not clear.
You'll
Yeah.
see, you will see.
Oh, sorry, maybe my grammar is not good.
No,
Yeah,
no.
but I will represent that it's from the serial number of the devices. Okay. So here we have some operation example with the Azure server. Okay. And before we move on to see what kind of operation we can do on our devices, a writer suggested to access a command line or your CPE devices, then typing like the redirect console command, so that we can capture some log while we're doing an operation, this file operation here. Okay. Okay, so after we entering the command line here, and the first thing we need to do is that we need to make sure these two operation to function is already enabled on your CPE device or not. And also we can use this command, the CFG-TR369 get, to check the current setting on our CPE devices. For example, you can see that when we type in the command on our CPE device at first time, it will show the setting of these two commands is currently at full status, which means the function is disabled at the moment. So in the later step, we will see how we can enable those two function on our CPE devices. Okay. Yeah.
Question. Which firmware is this based on for the snapshot that you?
Oh, but actually the device that share is this model. I'm not sure whether US market have this or not.
60. Okay.
Yeah,
So on the EX30 by 10, I don't recall there's an option for the. for
EX35.
debug log.
Yeah, I think they're gonna add it for 12C0 and they're.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe they will add it because right now for me, I only know the model.
The closest.
Function, this
the
model has
closest analog to this model would be the EX5512.
Hmm.
That's the MediaTek device. That's probably why you don't see it on the Broadcom devices. Something to add.
Yeah.
Are we
Okay.
getting this? This is not a North American.
No, this will not get this.
It's more like the EU market, but I think they will.
5512 is
Hmm.
our analog based.
Hmm.
Don't worry yourself about 5600.
Yeah, but I think they will add this function to the US market product as well in the future. Yeah. But here, the example they give us is on the EU market one. And the firmware they use in this on this model is the latest how to say, the latest formal release, that's 3C0. Okay. Okay. Okay, so back to this page. So we can type in this the edit command on our CPE devices to check what kind of parameter we can set on these two commands. So as you can see that when we type in a command, the output will look like this. And we can see that we are able to type in either 0 or 1 to the two function. And where the 0 means we disable the function on our devices, and 1 means we enable the function. Okay, so we then use these two commands here to enable the function on our CPE devices. And please note that after we type in these two commands on our CPE device to enable those two functions, please don't forget to type in this command and enable 0 and 1 again.
You gotta turn it off and then turn it back on again.
Oh yeah, need to restart the TR369. Yeah, I'm not sure, but it's a correct design.
The IT crowd.
Yeah,
That's an old joke, but it still works.
yeah, to apply the setting to CPE. Okay. Okay, so after that, we can use the get command again to check the setting. And this time you can see that you will give a result as true, means the function is enabled.
What is it, prototrace?
Prototype.
Prototrace.
Protocol first.
That's just like so message, like similar to.
So it will show the messages from the CLI if I enable it.
Oh yeah, you show the message like this.
So.
All of messages shows like this.
That's specific for the 360.
It will show the MQTT or WebSocket messages or strong messages on that.
Oh yeah, because you in this case you can see it shows the over WebSocket. It means we now are setting a connection to the controller with a WebSocket of NTP. Yeah, it will show several messages like this.
So by default, it's disabled. It's just for the debugging problem.
Oh yeah, by default, you need to enable the feature on a CPE device with a command here. So that's why they suggest to use follow the instruction here to enable the log function.
Then you add it and then you enable it, then you restart it.
Oh yeah, after you enable those two, you have to restart a TR369.
My understanding is that there are also several different debug levels that you can set. Is that correct?
So about this point, I'm gonna need to double check because from the example they give me here, only enable or disable.
I see.
Yeah. Okay. But let me write down the question you have. Maybe I can ask it. Thank you.
Yeah, because I just want to see if there's certain things that we need to enable or set it to a specific debug level. Like for one of the ticket that I created, they asked me to enable stream or to set a debug level to 3 different types. Just want to get around what they're on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me write down the question. Okay. Tricks. Or have you already created a ticket?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Let me write down.
I mean, CSO didn't really explain what those debug label are, that just wondered.
Oh, who's the CFO? Maybe I can ask him later.
I think it was Chloe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so going back to HQ, I check with her.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Okay, so now back to our case one. Okay, so after we finish all the setup on our CP devices, we will then able to find our CP devices can be now found on the controller server. And here we use a Azure server as an example in the case, in the following 5 case. Okay. So since our CP device we connected to a controller is with this model number, the EX5601. So we can easily just filtering our CP models by typing the model number here and click the search on this functional page. Then we will able to see our CP devices with the endpoint ID, which I mentioned here. We'll be able to find on the controller server. Okay, and if you see the green color here, it means your CP device is currently online. And if you see a gray number, it means that TP is offline at the moment. Okay, and if you want to do some operation on the CP devices through the controller, we need to click this blue gear button here, then go to this functional page. And in the later cases 2 to 5, I will have several operations on our CP devices through the Azure server. Okay. So when our CP device is successfully connected to the server, we were able to see that on the command line output of our CP devices will have several messages like this. It means that our CP devices is now successfully connected to the server. Okay, and after the server receives a message from the CP, it will send another message back to the CP devices. And also, we can realize what's the NTP protocol we currently use to establish connection to the controller. And in our case, the NTP we use is a WebSocket.
But what if say the previous method was successful? What do you see that?
Previous method failed.
Oh, yeah.
So this is a controller response. This is CP saying an onboard request notified, right?
Yeah, to tell the controller, yeah, establish success. So the meaning of this why CP send this message to the controller is to tell the controller that a connection is success.
No, this one is a request for connection, right? Or if I'm understanding this correct. So the CP is saying the server I want to connect with this message, right?
Yeah, you can also read.
Okay, so when you go to the next screen, where do you see if the request was successful or if the request failed in this response?
Oh, okay, so yeah. Yes, from screenshot they show here it did not say. But this is a notify message sent back the controller to CPE.
Like in like TR69, you can see the,
Yeah, you see.
like the response to
Yeah,
the
yeah,
inform.
yeah.
And then you can see what it's.
So is there a response to the notify or like saying, hey, you're successful? Or it could be like, connection requests where there's really no, the response from a connection request, you just send an inform, right? You don't know the,
What is the,
Oh, no.
if the connection is failing, you want to know that.
yeah, well, on a connection request, you know,
Acquiring lines.
yeah. Yeah. Is there like a, like notify successful or a 401? Is it a packet trace? Like, would you get a 401 error? Like if you're not,
That's what I.
Is there a next page? What's on the next page?
No, actually for this one, that's why case two.
Okay, so, this is not the full, this is not.
Oh,
the-
yeah,
That's
it's
not the
enough
full-
for,
that's not the full
yeah,
message.
not full
Right.
message, yeah,
Oh,
just an
okay.
example. Just an example for the case, yeah.
Yeah, so does the full message, will the full message indicate whether the notify, within the notify that, the connection, the onboard request is successful or not?
Still have.
Or do we just not
Well,
get
this
this?
is the response from.
Yeah,
This
it's
is a
response.
response from, to
Oh,
the CPE, so we expect the successful or not to be here, not on the previous one.
Yeah, you're right, you're right.
Or do we just not get this message if it doesn't succeed?
like if it fails?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I never tried a fail case, but I
Okay.
think if a fail case, we should able to see another message rather than this one.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
will see
With the
that.
reason why it failed though.
Oh, yeah.
It failed to avoid.
Yes, we have other cases in the third part about troubleshooting.
Okay.
We'll see
Okay.
why yeah.
We're,
Why
we're
the
too ahead
connection
of, we're
failed.
too, we're too ahead of York right now, guys.
No, it's okay. Thanks for everyone's feedback. Yeah.
The cart before the horse.
Okay. So this is our second case. What should we do if we want to add an object to our CPE? And as we already know that we need to go to this functional page, then select the method here so that we can perform an add task. Okay, so here we need to select the method from the drop-down menu here. And then type in what kind of object we would like to add on our CPE devices here. And then click the execute button. Okay, and the result of the task will show like here. If we see the green button here, it means the operation is finished. Okay. And if we want to look more detail, what's the result of this task? We can click the blue button here, and we'll go to a page like this. And we can realize the result we got in this task. Okay. And now we're back to the command line of the CPE devices.
You're doing the debug at the same time, so it's.
Yes. So, and this time you can see that the CPE device receives a message type like add from the controller.
It's enabled by stream.
And then this is a response sent from the CPE back to the server. In this case.
Success. Yeah,
Yeah.
operation success.
Yeah. So, so when the operation is success, you can see a message like this. But back to this one, yeah, because I think that extract is not
The screenshot.
fully captured. It's not fully captured.
Looks like it will say success.
Yeah, it's not fully captured. So I can, so that's why I can give you a clear answer.
That's an old one, so everybody get that. Computer old.
Okay, so our next case is how we can delete an object on a CPE. And the method is quite, instruction is quite similar. Like we only need to select the delete task from the drop-down menu here. And fill in the object name in a field here, then click the button. Okay. And then this is a result we got this time. Like we can see that the CPE also get a message from the server as well. And this is a response of our CPE device back to the server. And you can see that the operation is a success So we can see the success message here. Okay, and this is the next case. How we can get a parameter from the CPE devices. And like before, we need to select the get method from the drop-down menu here, which is this one. And also then typing what's the name of the object we want to capture from the CPE device in the field here. Then click the execute button here. Okay, and this is a response. This is a message we can see from our CPE devices. Like we can see this time, since we want to perform a get task with our CPE devices, so we were able to see the message type instead shows get here. Okay, and this is a response we got this time. As you can see that due to we want to get the software information, so our CPE will send a required message back to the controller. And this is a version currently used on our CPE devices. Oh, I think this is a firmware version running on the CPE.
Okay.
Yeah, a 301. Yeah. Okay. Okay, and we can also use a service server to help us to perform a reboot task on our CPE devices. And how we can do that is that we need to select the operate from a drop down as a task on drop down menu here. Okay, and then we can type in a task here, then just click a button. Okay, and this is the result we got this time. As you can see that our CPE devices will then perform a reboot task.
So with this, you don't get a message type.
Message that manage. This
Oh,
one.
there we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Great response. Yeah. Execute command device reviews.
Hmm.
So it's like, okay, I'm gonna execute this.
I guess.
Right, that's where you use the
Yeah.
operate, right? You use operate, well, it reads it as operate and then device reboot or whatever.
Oh yeah. Mhm. Because the operate task is more like
You told me to reboot, so I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Bye.
a.
This page always gonna look like that? Because there's MQTT, there's Stump, and there's WebSocket. You configured this device on the other screens for MQTT, and then it's saying here that it's WebSocket.
I think so, but in this case, it's because I use a WebSocket as an NTP, so that's why you see.
This
WebSocket
is a
here.
screenshot from a device he's.
You've pieced together this little presentation here with different scenarios, because you start with MQTT configuring that in the controller and everything in the device, and then here you've got WebSocket.
Oh, okay.
Display here of the results from your commands and whatnot, but.
Yeah.
Will it look the same no matter what? Because
Oh
you're
yeah,
skipping
the message
broker-
will be the
you're
same.
skipping the
Yeah.
broker, so there's gonna be more information in here probably, right? You know, you can have like a job aid or something for each option for MQTT to do these things and.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I think it's hard to explain. So let me show you my remote again. Because now my CPE device is using a MQTT to connect to the Azure server, and we can try some.
Can you send a
Should stay the
reboot
same.
to that?
We can try, but actually I use a telnet session connected to the CPE rather than a console
So
cable.
don't reboot it to a
Information that
software
I'm
version.
getting,
Yeah.
that it's
Like the
showing me,
structure.
it's gonna
or
find a way to give me
my-
that information.
Mm.
It's gonna give it to
That-
me in
that
a
question is the
normal
same question
standard
we had before.
format. It's not gonna be different whether it's MQTT or
Right.
Stomp or WebSocket.
Yeah.
That information that I'm seeing on this WebSocket display,
Yeah,
It's
it's gonna be the same. I'm looking for a couple key items and that's it.
Yeah, so it
That's
seems like.
the same question I asked before. So if we have three different protocols, with the message structure be the same for all three protocols. So the reason I want to mention it, we can do a reboot is because we have here the response of a reboot command on WebSocket and we can compare it. But if you don't have console information.
Yeah,
Do
if I
you have
reboot.
any other command in the presentation
Or-
using WebSocket that we can compare it to MQTT?
Or I think we can just.
Is the
simpler
software
protocol.
version also using WebSocket? The software version is not, I think.
Oh, no, now I currently connect using MQTT. Yeah. So for a simple demonstration, I think we can just use the add comments.
Okay.
I think MQTT is from somewhere else.
So he cannot, like, he doesn't have access to the
Yeah,
controller
yeah.
or anything.
Because the snapshot.
Oh, yeah. So
Yeah, you can
it gives
see
it-
this
it
time
gives them
over
the exact same
MQTT.
format.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the
This is
exact same.
MQTT.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is the exact same format.
Yeah, the same for me, but you will see that this time we use MQTT as a MQTT.
So yeah,
It's
so
a message
all
here.
it says is just over MQTT, but everything else is the same.
This is how it should be, because this is how you configure the.
Or maybe it's.
MQTT. The other one
Yeah.
is a slide from some other thing you added.
Yeah,
to the
well, yeah,
presentation.
yeah, for the
So
presentation.
this is the true display of what you should be seeing right now, is that over MQTT is what you should be seeing as your connection to this.
Yeah, his slides are screenshots from different
Different things.
devices, yeah. But the
Oh,
message,
yeah.
the
This
message
is what
is the
should be
same.
showing when you do that other page. It's, you highlighted in red, whatever, and circled and squared things out. That's should be this page, the correct page that you used after you configured your device. You did MQTT, you did the
Yeah.
controller.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Because in this case, they only show the MQTT as an example, yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right.
But we can realize that the format of the
But
message
the
is the
format's
same.
exactly the same.
Yeah, the same one.
It's the same
Say,
messaging.
like in this
Yeah.
one, you're seeing, look here, next one, where am I looking for this thing now? Oh, it's one of the different, it's 3 pages below.
So they use all the same format then, right?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what it
yeah.
looks like, or at least in the CLI, it looks all the same.
And how we can realize what the NTP we use and find a message here.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
it's
over
the
MQTT.
header of the message, basically is our only indicator that we're in something else.
Is that the actual messaging or is it just like the encapsulation of the message?
I think it's the encapsulation.
Then the
That's it.
messaging could be like the same, like, you
Yeah.
know, like you can encapsulate soap with
Where-
HTTP, right?
Yeah, whereas WebSockets probably has no like specific encrypted encapsulation or
Yeah.
something.
And could we all capture this on the wire, like the messaging? Like if you were doing packet trace?
You
Uh,
could capture MQTT on Wireshark.
Yeah,
And
can
that's
capture the
okay.
package.
But it has
yeah.
to be not,
I'm not sure about Storm.
but so that means, but then they have to use a specific one that is not encrypted, right? Like a server, like, because then that means that messaging is unencrypted.
Yeah, that's the thing. So you can only capture it from unencrypted server. photo.
Oh, okay, they have to have like the HTTP, right? Like normally, like with ACS, you can, you
But
wanna.
But like most of the time you're dealing with TLS.
So
Okay,
most
so-
of the time the TLS is also.
Yeah.
enabled.
So you have to
Well,
request, like,
security
you guys
stuff.
have for test purposes?
Yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes like, you know, it's probably the most, what do you call that, I guess unbiased, right? Cause you don't know, like, we could say we're sending out the message, but it's not going out, like, on the console, so. Okay, no, that's fine.
Yeah, that might be the reason for my troubleshooting as well, because I don't see messages on the port they are using, so that might be encrypted, but the standard 1883 is not TLS enabled port, so that's why I see messages on that thing.
Mm.
because- But in their scenario, they are not even saying that they're receiving requests or something.
But sometimes it
You,
can be
you
broken.
did a packet trace on the WAN port, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
port
so-
memory.
So if you're showing that we're sending it out and they're not receiving it, it could be an issue on their
But,
side.
but we're not sending it out, that's
Oh,
why you're
okay.
saying, you know, that's why I say it's a bug.
Yeah.
Oh, you think RCP depends not send a response to controller?
No,
Without
it's
sending
not,
the connect message, you know, the first one connect for.
the request connects,
Oh, this one, like
because
this
like,
one.
if it's on, what, 1883, it sends it out, but it's,
Yeah.
when we change it to a different port, it doesn't send it out.
Oh.
So that sounds like a bug, that's what
Well, they'll find out,
Could
yes,
be.
yeah.
CSO will be back.
Is that actually going to request? I think so.
Onboarding is, I think.
The initial, onboard request is the
Oh,
initial,
the
right?
first time,
is
right?
from the controller side or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
wherever you want it on board.
I don't know what's the message structure for onboarding.
Well, he just showed it, right, previously? Hey, can you go back to the screenshot that shows the onboard request?
Okay.
The notify, the notify,
I'm kind of feeling.
Uh,
That's what you used to.
Or you just pass it.
yeah.
There it is.
Onboard request notified.
Yeah, maybe they just code different. Yes.
Yeah, they-
Oh, AG.
Wait, what do you mean by they just call it different?
Like, yeah, 69, they
Some
use it for
people
net,
connect message.
but now like they're calling on port.
Oh, maybe, but this is that sockets, right?
Oh, yeah, it's a website.
Yeah, this is that socket. So I don't know, the format is same for both message protocols or not, just maybe this is onboarding over here, the connect is under MQTT, so I don't know. Do you have any PCAP for these, protocols, like, the message exchanges between?
Oh, yeah, is there any Wireshark that we can refer to later?
Yeah, but just
For WebSockets?
for WebSocket, no, actually, my case is for troubleshooting for MQTT. Yeah, but idea I think will be the same, just simply enable a mirror function on the CPU and capture the packet for analysis. Yeah.
Do we have any way of just setting up all three versions right now here in the lab?
The problem is we don't have access to the controller side,
Yeah.
so we can do whatever our device can do, but we can not put it on that side. I don't know, Cyril, we have.
Do you have access to a controller?
No, actually I don't have an access to the Linux server. I only can access the web GUI.
We have one.
Okay.
Yeah.
To like zero.
Like test account.
We have like
I
zero.
only can
Yeah,
access the web
So
GUI.
it's
Yeah.
zero, it's the only,
That's the-
it's only.
Control.
So I thought
They're
make their own.
using like
We
zero.
have tested with Windows, but that's
Hmm.
strictly with WinScript.
So if they're using
Like
like zero,
QTT,
maybe we can
different
see
port.
like, like what.
Yeah.
The
Fine
first like
point,
zeros only. use the
Fine Point
website.
is in the middle of TR369 testing, but that's under Steve's purview, so. I'll have to get.
Do you have
Which website
an
was
answer to Dino's question for the group chat for the Plume SDK?
I don't know how that works.
I was like, I don't know, I haven't
The only
upgraded the device.
instruction I have from headquarters is
We
to, first I have to use the flashing tool, specific flashing tool that had an SDK.
Yeah, and the
upgrade version,
SDK, okay.
and then I can use the second one, but how it's gonna work for the devices already in the field?
Yeah, okay,
So,
alright. Yeah, because I was like, I haven't actually updated the device to the newest Plume, so I was
Wait,
just
is
like, I
Dino
don't know.
asking us or is he?
Yeah, he was asking us and.
but I
we
updated my
should-
home device from, whatever is on the Vita cloud, but it upgraded fine.
And you
And
didn't,
it's working.
you didn't use that Express tool on your, on that device?
No, I upgraded through the Plume.
Okay,
But I need to check, how can I check the SDK now, if the SDK is upgraded on that thing or not,
gotcha.
so.
Okay, let's continue.
Yeah, it was like, sorry, we continue.
Oh, it's okay. Thanks for the feedback. Yeah. Always welcome. Thank you. Okay,
I'll
so
check it out later.
I close.
Thank you.
Okay. So we finish the last case. So I'll introduce some troubleshooting method. Let's suggest what we can use to debug the TR369 problem. Okay, and this is the first one. Is that it suggests to like before, enabling the log collecting function on a CPE by typing this command, so that we can get some log while we are doing some perform some TR369 operation on our CPE devices. Okay, and this is the second case like I mentioned, like we can use to capture the packet on our CPE devices to help us realize what happened on our CPE devices.
Can you, sorry, Mr. Bowser, can you please go to the previous slide? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, the page is the same one at the
So
beginning.
first I need to execute the top two, and then I need to execute the bottom two commands, right?
Oh, yeah. After you apply the setting to your CPU, you need to restart the TR369 function. So
Okay.
then will make these two functions work on your devices. Okay.
This is because we're adding a device to the ACS so we can troubleshoot and test. Because we're not gonna be obviously doing this to stuff that's already currently working on an ACS. Why would we be messing with that?
It's more
Because
for
it
what,
should be working already,
right.
why would you do all these things?
Well, that's for
Oh,
troubleshooting.
yeah, for troubleshooting, just
Because I personally had added a device to an ACS, and I can troubleshoot that said device.
Well, it
I
would
need
be,
to put this stuff in there because it doesn't come default
Hmm.
on the devices, so like.
Okay, it's working, I can confirm that.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, what's the firmware you use?
There's a lot of data.
Yeah, a lot of data as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's not set by default on the device. It adds a lot of CPU overhead. So you have this running and then somebody's like, oh, I can't do my speed test correctly. Yeah, because the
Yeah.
CPU is already doing a bunch of stuff, and now you're trying to do like hardware.
So that's why you wouldn't
offset.
want to just default it in the enable state, because then we wouldn't have to mess with any of that stuff, but because it's constantly taxing
Right.
that device, you don't want to turn on unless you need it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Same reason why you don't have port mirroring on by default, for example. Because it
Double
generally
info.
make for a bad time whenever the CPU is stressed out. Like especially if you're trying to do stuff that involves Broadcom hardware offload, like TR-143 testing, for example, or that sort of thing. Speaking from OEM specifically. Because it does add extra CPU overhead, so it could affect other things that the CPU needs to do.
Okay, thank you. So I carry on.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Okay, so the second method, let's adjust by using the mirror function of CPE. Okay, here we have an example. How happen we have a connection fail due to we typing the invalid password like this. And when in this case, we can use a packet to help us realize what happened while the connection failed. For example, if we type in an invalid password here, which is not matched to our SRS servers, we will see that when we capture the packet on our CPE devices, there's a ACK packet will show us that the reason why the connection failed is due to the not authorized. And this message means that the username or the password we fill in here is not the correct one. It's not a match. It's not the one matched to our authorized server. So you can realize what happened from the packet here. So that's why they suggest to capture the packet as another method of debugging the issue. Okay. Okay, so thanks everyone. The topic ends here. The first one.
Thanks, George.
Thank you.
We want to take a quick 5-10 minute break.
Our next topic might start at 11 o'clock because I need to translate the
Okay.
video. Yeah.
Okay,
Thank
so,
you.
gosh, guys, take a 30-minute break, catch up on some ICS tickets, do your thing.
I got it. Yeah, so you're not sure if your device at home, SDK is updated?
Do you know the command to